I was fortunate enough recently to be gifted this gorgeous guitar by my new friend Kenzo over at NOF Customs, a tiny custom guitar company based in the Philippines. The name of the company might change soon once Kenzo really tries to get it off the ground, so should that be the case, I'll definitely keep you updated on socials because I'm very impressed with what he does. This is the NOF Sven, and it's stunning in pretty much every way. Sound, playability, looks, everything about it is pretty much perfect for my metal guitar needs. And while I wasn't asked to make a video with this thing in exchange for receiving it at all, I found it would make quite an educational video because it has a feature that, while it might look jarring at first, I really hope more manufacturers start to adopt in the future. It's a very subtle multi-scale, but the frets aren't angled, they're curved. So, what's the point of a curved fret system for multi-scale as opposed to fan frets? Well, the concept was pioneered in 2011 by an Australian builder by the name of Oni Guitars, who for years before that had been building fanned fret multi-scale guitars and wanted to blend the string tension benefits of a fanned fret guitar with the benefits of a parallel fretted guitar, which on the second octave, as in above the 12th fret, wouldn't bend your hand unnaturally towards the body. And what Oni ended up with after a lot of experimenting was a curved fret system in which the first octave from the nut up to the 12th fret had a regular multi-scale feel to it. Also, if you hadn't noticed, just to accommodate the system, the nut also has to be curved just like the first fret. Now, in the particular instance of this NOF Sven, the multi-scale is quite subtle, ranging about half an inch from 25.5 to 26 point something. But if you look at a few of Oni's designs with the E scale, which is what he's called it, I think E stands for ergonomic, or especially this ridiculous curved fret headless one-off 9-string guitar built for the Great Guitar Build-Off 2022, you can also do it much less subtly. Although I do find that that takes away from the difference between curved and fan fret approaches. Not to mention that in the particular case of this curved 9-string guitar, it's kind of just a fan fret multiscale with frets that happen to bend in the middle, so it's really kind of redundant, but that doesn't mean the guitar isn't kind of sick. It's a gimmick. The curved fret system is also much easier to get used to than a fan fret system, hence why I don't own a single Ormsby guitar despite how much I very much love them. And in the case of this particular guitar, the top two, the B and E strings, are sitting at exactly the same scale length, and it slowly progresses from 25.5 to 26 point. I don't know, something, about 26 inches from there. So that is very subtle, nothing dramatic, but Kenzo did build a headless 8-string with curved frets as well, which is currently in the possession of Henning from HP42, and as you can see, that one's a lot less subtle. Hey, it's me! It's the same person from the rest of the video, actually. I'm just wearing something else. But I'm here to tell you about today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning platform with thousands of classes and tens of thousands of members for you to learn from and get inspired by. Skillshare instructors take a bit of a learning by doing approach to their courses and make sure that you can always create something of your own and are able to share it after completing a course. I personally am currently doing some mild remodeling to my studio. That's actually why I'm doing this standing up, because everything below this shot is a bit of a mess right now. And I've been using a combination of interior design courses combined with this particular home studio building course to make the most of this space. One of the most important things to have in any space where microphones are involved is rugs, as opposed to like bare wooden floors for sound to reverberate off of. Which I do have, but sadly I didn't make this rug myself, but I'm sure I could have if I'd been a Skillshare user sooner. And that's what makes it so great, the absolute abundance of classes that it offers. Anything you might want to improve at, ranging all the way from painting or carpentry to web development, entrepreneurship, or marketing, can be found on Skillshare. If you'd like to learn some new skills too to stop being such a worthless waste of space in this society, then you're in luck, because the first 500 people to go through the link in my description get 1 month of Skillshare for free. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and now if you don't mind, please get out. I want to go to sleep. So now on to the actual question you clicked on this video for. Do I think that this is where multiscale is headed in the future? because personally I much prefer this to the regular system in looks as well as functionality. Well, one very strong argument against it is that these frets have to be specially manufactured, much like, say, True Temperament frets, you know, those squiggly frets that Matthias Eklund uses, unlike fan frets, which are just regular straight fret wire inserted into the wood at a different angle. So it's not very likely that a brand like, say, Harley Benton with incredibly low construction budgets would start making curved fret guitars anytime soon, unless it takes off to the point where the demand for curved frets is so high that people start specially manufacturing them, but even then they would be more expensive. Harley Benton has plenty of multi-scale guitars in their roster because, again, that takes no extra effort to manufacture. It's just, you know, stick the things in at a different angle. But what I do think we're going to see much more of in the future is these frets being used on very high-end progressive handmade guitars such as Strandbergs, which to this day is one of the most progressive guitar brands as far as specs and designs go. Hi, so I'm just editing this video and I kind of realized I didn't bring a point across properly, or in the first place, which is that obviously Oni and Kenzo, neither of them buy these frets pre-bent anywhere because nobody makes them. Oni thought of the system and Kenzo was the second person in the world to use it, but instead they buy regular fret wire and then tediously cut and bend it to shape, which is exactly my point, because obviously a company like Harley Benton or like even Strandberg, if these were to be higher end things, wouldn't hand bend the frets. They would have to get them from a manufacturer. And honestly, I would not want to be the manufacturer of these frets, because not only do you have to factor in, as always, the height of the frets, as in small, medium, jumbo, which by the way, the frets on that NOF Sven are the tallest frets I've ever felt in my life, but you would now have to sell matching sets of properly, like, bent, angled frets depending on what the scale length is supposed to be, you know, how hard it's supposed to vary, because that's exactly the point of these curved frets. So I feel like running this business would just be even more of a pain in the ass than running True Temperament, which already seems horrible. I can't immediately think of a second company that actually frequently uses True Temperament frets in their guitars. I think Caparison did, but Caparison only did because Matthias Eklund uses their guitars and so he wanted those, but like their regular models don't have that. As far as I know, Strandberg actually sells some True Temperament guitars. And 10-15 years from now, when curved frets are the new norm in the prog metal guitar scene, such as fan frets are now, Oni and Kenzo will go down as the pioneers of it. So you know what? Just listen to me play this thing for a little bit, why don't you? So that's the video. Thank you to you for watching. Big thanks to Skillshare as well for sponsoring it. Link in the description. As usual, another link to NOF Custom social media is in the description, so you can be aware of their name change once it does happen. Most recent videos somewhere up here. Subscribe somewhere down there. Hit the bell. Leave a comment. Goodbye.